Hello, everyone. Good evening. It is a Monday, early evening. Very beautiful outside here. I am author Paulette C. Jackson, and just coming to you guys. It's been a while since I've recorded any type of content for my YouTube page and my social media pages in regards to writing and around being a published author and so on and so forth. But I really had to think about what I want to speak to you all about. And so what was on my heart is some discussions in the last couple of days I've seen on various groups that I belong to that is geared for writers and authors. And the one thing I've been seeing is whether they're self-published or traditional. And I actually, a few months back, did a panel discussion. I was part of a panel discussion around that. Now, everybody's situation is different. Everybody's needs are different. But I would say for first-time writers and authors that are getting that are in the process of getting their works published, I would definitely look into self-publishing. And the reason I say that is because, of course, do your own research. Of course, everyone's different. Again, everyone's needs are different. But for me, what was important to me is that I maintain all of the creative rights in everything to my book. Now, I went with a company that helped me with the editing and, gave me the marketing tools as part of the package that I chose. But all the rights belong to me of my book. All my works belong to me. Of course, I get the royalties off the sales, and then they get a portion, but I get the majority of the royalties. But again, all rights to all my works belong to me 100%. And that's how I was able to actually, even with the first publishing company that I was with, still self-publishing because I owned all the rights to the book. I didn't get a upfront advance check for my writing and all that. All that was for me. I wrote it, I did the manuscript and all that, and just sent it to them for editing and marketing tools and distribution, which was huge for me. So I did look into all of that, and I kind of weighed the two and what was my best option. So that's what I went with. It was very important for me to maintain those rights and all that. So, but what I will say, again, do your own research, what's best for you. But for first-time authors and, writers, again, that are in the process of getting your works out there, definitely look into self-publishing. Absolutely. And I'm sorry, and I lost my train of thought there for a second. What I was going to say is that one of the reasons that I was glad of going where I had to go, or wanted to go with self-publishing, is because I was able to re-release my first book as a second edition book with the new publisher that I went with. So, and it was fantastic for me. It was much better. Changed the cover. I changed some of the content in the book. Not a lot from the first, but just kind of added some things, and it was a much better fit for me. Just to be able to do that, to release it as a second edition at their suggestion. Now, they didn't push me or anything like this. Like, hey, they want to think about, re-releasing your first book that you wrote and that you released as a second edition with us. That way, all my books will be under that whole thing. So it was a win-win. It really was. It was much better structured for me. And so I just urge all of you to really do your research, your own research. That's just my experiences. But what I want to speak to also is those of you who may be procrastinating about writing or getting your works published for whatever reason. And when I started, my writing started as a lyricist and poems. So I never thought that I would actually write a book. And it wasn't until a few years ago, in my late 40s, that I actually said, at the advice of a friend of mine and influence of a very well-known musician who had written a book as well. And so they were kind of my influences to say, hey, I'm going to tell my story. And it was on the lines of who I am, but my love and passion for music and the arts and how that all got started. So that was my first book. And so, but you guys, all of you have different stories and journeys that you may want to share, maybe someone else that you know, or it could be fiction, you know, whatever it is that you feel in your heart to write about, write it. I say, just get started writing. That's what I say. Just get started. Have a notebook, have a pen ready by you, near you, because you never know when the inspiration is going to hit. And that's what I did. I did old-fashioned way. I was in front of a laptop. I didn't have an iPad. It was a pen and paper. And I kid you not, ideas or the next chapter or whatever will come to me, and I would get up in the middle of the night and start writing. And so I urge all of you to just do it. Just write. Get pad and pen and pencils, whatever is easiest for you. Or maybe it is a laptop. Maybe it is a iPad or something like that. That's easier for you to compose your thoughts. And then, of course, later on, put it into book form. Now, as I progressed in my writing and I went from book 1, 2 to 3, I started using my laptop. But even with that, I still was writing, like pen and paper writing. And then it would transpose that into a Word document, because that's what my editors and everything, that's what they called for, you know, kind of look over things and kind of be a second eyes for me, and what I need to correct or add or take away and that kind of thing. So, but still my words, still my thoughts, still my feelings, still my book. My title, I chose the cover. And so I submitted to them my choices, and they kind of suggested the best one that would fit the realm of what the book is about. So all of that too, I had really full creative control over my books, and that was very, very important to me. I didn't want someone else telling my story or telling me what my story should look like, if that makes sense. So I urge all of you to just start. If you have something really in your heart and your soul that you want to tell a story about, it could be fantasy, it could be real, it could be a mixture, it could be a lot of things. Whatever it is, just start. And it doesn't matter what age you are. I started in my late 40s writing books. Now, I started as a preteen writing lyrics. So I've been writing for a long time. But in book form, to tell stories, yeah, that didn't happen until my late 40s. So, and book 4 is due to come out hopefully later on this year or the early part of next year. So I urge all of you just to start. It's rewarding. It really was rewarding for me to have my first book in my hand. And I promise you, once you get started, and you're gonna find that you're gonna keep going. It's like you can't stop now. You know, once you get that first word, those first words down on paper, then you won't be able to stop, and it'll be fantastic from there. So again, self-publishing versus traditional publishers or publishing, and just getting started. Get yourself started. You can do it. If I can do it, you can too. All right. So I hope that this helped you in some way and motivated you all in some way. And if you have any additional questions, jot them down in the comments. I will have this on my YouTube page, and I will be happy to answer any of your questions. And if any of you want any additional one-on-one consulting, I do that as well. And just leave your information, and then I will contact you via email, or probably via email is the best way. Okay. All right, everyone. I'm not going to keep you. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I will be talking to you guys very, very soon. Again, if you have any questions or want one-on-one consulting, please drop your information down in the comments. All right, this is author Paulette C. Jackson, and I'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. Happy writing. Bye.